Welcome again to our YouTube channel, Bold and Faithful Perspective. Is holiness possible for a Christian? Is holiness possible for a Christian? The answer will be quick yes. Others will say, yes, but a lot of work has to be done. Why ask? Is holiness possible for a Christian? Why answer to the affirmative and say yes, holiness is possible for any Christian, for any believer in Christ? The answer to the affirmative is because it is the truth. It is true that holiness is possible for a Christian. Holiness is possible for a believer in Christ. It is possible to be holy. It's achievable. It's accessible. Asking the question whether holiness is possible for a Christian is the beginning of the journey of discovering how to become holy. A Christian, a believer, who prayerfully collaborates with God, creates holy moments with God. That a prayerful collaboration with God, prayerfully collaborating with God, a Christian creates a moment of holiness with God, all holy moments with God. What do we mean by holy moments with God, or a holy moment with God? It is the time when a believer or a Christian prayerfully makes oneself available to God. A believer or a Christian makes himself or herself available to God. Making oneself available to God to allow God to sanctify you as a believer, because He is the one who makes us holy. He is the one who sanctifies us. He is the one who makes us holy. And we can create this moment, this holy moment with God, when we set aside our personal desires, interests, ambitions. We set aside everything that is self-interest, desires, ambitions, to allow God to sanctify us. Intentionally, prayerfully setting aside our desires, our interests, and allow God to sanctify us in a prayerful way. Creating a moment with God is accessible to everybody. We are the ones who can decide to create that moment with God. God cannot force Himself on us. We are the ones to create that holy moment with God. It's accessible to us. It's accessible to all believers, and it's achievable and practical for all believers. It's achievable, it's accessible, achievable, and practical to all believers in creating this holy moment with God in a prayerful way. It's achievable. We have said the conditions are setting aside personal desires, personal interests, our ambitions, and allow God to sanctify us, to sanctify you. And the moment you create that one holy moment with God, it is possible that you can create those many holy moments with God. They are replicable. There is no limit to the number of holy moments you can create with God. Setting aside desires, interests, ambitions, and prayerfully allowing God to sanctify you, surrendering to Him. If you can create one holy moment with God, it means you can create many more holy moments with God. There's no limit to the number of these holy moments you can create with God. Sometimes when we look at the life of the saints, we are overwhelmed by their lives. But these lives have to teach us a great lesson. They teach us a lesson on how to become holy. But if we look at their lives and think that holiness is impossible because of the great achievement the saints have achieved, then we are mistaken. The lives of the saints may seem to be very intimidating, overwhelming for us, if we do not look at the lives they lived, the way they lived their lives. We have to pick a saint and see how did this saint live his or her life. But if we look at it from a wholesome part, we may be overwhelmed and we may feel intimidated that we cannot become holy because of these great saints. But when we look at the lives they lived and how they lived their lives, we appreciate that holiness is achievable and is accessible to all believers in Christ. They lived a life of one moment at a time, one step at a time, one day at a time. They lived one moment at a time, one step at a time with the Lord, one day at a time with the Lord. Their lives were not one huge yes to God. Their lives were not one huge yes to God. It was not once and for all thing for them. It was one moment at a time, one step at a time with the Lord, one day at a time with the Lord, with ups and downs. They created holy moments with God, one moment at a time. Even us, it's not a one whole yes to God. It is one day at a time, one moment at a time, one step with the Lord at a time. The life of the saints, indeed, were made up of many holy moments with God. The life of the saints were made up of many holy moments with God. One moment at a time with God, one step at a time with God, one day at a time with God. With all ups and downs, they consistently and persistently created holy moments with God. And now they are great saints. We learn from them. We can achieve holiness one moment at a time with the Lord, one step at a time with the Lord, one day at a time with the Lord, creating those holy moments with God, because He's the one who sanctifies us. Therefore, holiness is possible. It is the bold truth that holiness is possible for all Christians. That's the bold truth. It is a beautiful truth to look at ourselves as saints in the making, as saints in the making, when we collaborate with God to create these holy moments in the journey of our life to sainthood. In our journey of sainthood, create those holy moments with God, and we can achieve holiness. For holiness is not one huge yes to God, but it's made of holy moments with God, creating collaboration with God, who sanctifies us, who makes us holy. And therefore, let us collaborate with God, for holiness is possible, accessible, and achievable by all who believe in Christ. May you have One moment with the Lord at a time, one day with the Lord at a time, and one step with the Lord at a time. One moment, one step with the Lord, one day at a time with the Lord. Holiness is possible, is accessible, is achievable by those who believe in the Lord. Only collaborate with Him and let Him sanctify you and make you holy. May God bless you and embrace you.